Hello everyone, this is Deanna, the Organized Miss, and I woke up at like 3 o'clock this morning and cannot go back to sleep, so flip through of my junk journal it is. So I'm starting to think about Junk Journal July, and I realized I didn't do a flip through of my very chunky junk mail envelope junk journal. And I showed some pages kind of as I was working on it, but yeah, so I thought I would come on here this morning. I got my coffee. Yeah, pretty good. Got my coffee and, oh, I pulled this out because I got this at a coffee shop during Miss Kansas Week, and I thought this was so sweet. So, you know, this is going in my junk journal, probably in my junk journal of July. I'm starting to gather up some things over here, which will probably be the next video I make this morning. But I did make a video, and so I'll link it here, of how I put this together. It's made, the base of it is all made with envelopes. So the cover was a U.S. mail, like priority mail package, or you know, little, it's like a cardstock envelope. And so I had just covered that with paper at some point and then just never used it. I was waiting for a project. But I just love the paper so much, and so I pulled that out, and that's what I used to make this. And I really like to try to use recycled material, whether it's you know, like this book page that I got from a book that I think my grandmother gave me, actually. And the one behind it was a Reader's Digest book that I got from the thrift store. Junk mail, whatever. This actually came from, I think, mail or something. I don't actually know where that came from. But anyway, I digress. Oh, the lace here. I buy a lot of laces and trims from Goodwills. Usually they're in little package of, you know, discards or, you know, what was left over from someone's project, which is probably where this came from. And the green ribbon as well. Then that was just to kind of cover up the stitching, because I did not do a great job. But all of the pages, so to speak, the signatures are made from envelopes. So my junk mail envelopes that just pile up. I don't keep every junk mail envelope that comes in my house, obviously, but I do keep a lot when I'm thinking, oh, what can I use this for? So I finally pulled them out and put them together and made 2 signatures for this. And good thing that this is pliable, malleable. It kind of forms around it. And so that formed the base of it. And then really, I had no plan. There was really no rhyme or reason. My original goal was to try to mix these colors together. Yellows, oranges, and greens, a little bit of blue. And so I made a master board. I think that is on my channel too. Just to help with creating ephemera. And then I just started making things. So these pages are from an Atlas book, I think, again from my local, probably Salvation Army. There are some things that are new in here. I'll try to point those out as we go. This was scrap. Try to use my scrap papers. Every now and then I will, you know, go and pull out paper from my paper pack that is back there. But this was just a piece of like scrap cardstock, and then I just used my I have a glass, you know, tumbler or whatever, and I just dipped it in some leftover coffee and made the little coffee spots. And then I have this stamp here. Made a little pocket, but as you can see, this was an envelope, and I just covered it, but I left the window. And so I tried to leave windows on as many of them as I could and find a creative way to use it, but sometimes I didn't use the window. This is a pocket that I have not figured out what to go in there yet, but you know, maybe nothing, maybe for the future. Little fold out. This was something I had made, this piece of ephemera, just this top piece here, during 2020, during our stay home, and I was, you know, just kind of playing around, and I didn't have a thing to use it for, so I finally found this. And then, you know, there's the back side of that pocket. Another window envelope, and the card, these were cut out of junk mail. I like the words. Sometimes I'll just look and see if there's something before I, you know, again, I don't keep everything, so I do throw a lot of stuff away, but I will look and see if there's some words or something that I like. And when that happens, I am currently putting, you know, little things that I, you know, kind of cut or tear off in here, and then I'll process it once it gets full, which I did recently. I just cleared all that out and I've started again. So as you can see, I've pulled off stamps, and I've got a fortune cookie in there. I think that's about it. But so this was one of the pieces that I cut off the master board, and then I used this clothing tag because I save clothing tags, I think, are, well, first of all, if they talk about being a recycled material, I like that. And so that was my tag for there. And this, let's see, where's that gonna go? And then this is just some more like coffee dyed paper and some, what's this stuff called? Pattern, you know, the pattern material, pattern paper. And you know, when I first started, I thought, I'm going to be clever and make all these tuck spots and hide. I did not do this throughout the whole book. I thought about it, but it's a little index card, coffee dyed. And I added the trim to it. But I did, you know, cover the pages. Have another pocket on the back side here. And some pages I just went real minimal. I didn't, you know, cover them all like this. I just used stickers. I believe this sticker is from R.D. Mays. I think either I bought this one or it was one of her freebies. I honestly do not know, but it's R.D. Mays. She's here on YouTube, but she had these words. So I still had that, and I printed them out. I thought they'd be really cute. And then I just left the pocket. Left room to hide journaling in there. This one I didn't cover at all because I like, you know, keeping some reminders that these are all envelopes. Another tag cut out of that master board, and I like stitching them, you know. So here I was trying to keep that orange incorporated. Orange and green. That was kind of fun to be, you know, a creative stretch doing something. Obviously the stickers were not recycled. I don't limit myself to recycling when I want to use stickers. Obviously those are usually pretty new. And pockets. And this, another index card, but I like this. This was from my Nespresso package, and a receipt and packaging, so just kind of fun, you know, fun ways to you know, recycle things, which really this has got to be my favorite way of junk journaling. I know a lot of people use the term junk journaling also, you know, using new materials, digital things they print out, which is fine too. And I've done that, but for me, it's just kind of a fun way to really stretch myself. So except the stickers. Now this sticker, I have a printout, a sheet of them, and I've slowly been using them, but I probably had these for a couple of years. So it's fun to like go through your stash and, you know, find things that just haven't worked in other projects and finally use them. This I've had for several years. It came in a Happy Mail from a swap, and it's like a postcard, but it's so cute. Or maybe it was a game piece. Yeah, but you know, postcard game piece. But I thought, you know, that was very, very colorful, and it fit right in there. There we go. Plus, I need something to fill up that big window. Okay, so this is me learning to use a jelly plate. And so these are actually book pages. And I was just practicing learning how to, you know, put paint on there. But I have another one of those kind of art-looking cards. This was actually from an event we had in our town. Well, it's stuck in there. It's staying. It was like a card describing some art that was at an event downtown, so I kept it and I put it in there. This was a, you know, just a little brown paper bag, but I wanted to keep it because it said recycled. And so this page I just tried to really, you know, embrace all the recycled materials. And I did like a blanket stitch here. This was inspired by Meg Journals. She does these blanket stitchings from time to time to hold her pages together, and I thought that would be a fun way to like put these two and make up. So let's see, there's a pocket there, and then there's one right here. So I thought that would be kind of a fun way to, well, there we go. A sheet of sticker paper, and I honestly don't know if that was like a tea package, you know, one of those, probably it was, and then just strips of, you know, whatever from an earlier page, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to use those rather than throwing these little bits away, which it would probably be fine to throw them away, but all right, so this was one of my first pages, and I just wasn't really 100% sure what I was doing here. I did like the orange, and so I still wanted to show, but I wanted to work things together. So this is a page from these little books that my grandmother gave me. Let's see, when I went to see her, and so they're so cute. They've got all kinds of designs in there. And so I put that on this page. It was the right size. And this is what I'd cut off of it. And then I realized I had some stickers that matched it. So I was just kind of playing around with that. And it's okay. This is not my favorite spread in the book, but it's there. The back side of that page, just a little tuck spot. This is a little envelope that I made when I made a book using Scarlett O'Hara book. I made a junk journal for someone, and they still had tons of pages out of it. And so I had made this little pockets that I had used in the book also. And so I still have some left over. So I finally put it on there, and I said, I'm going to use this. I think these are the only pages that I did not decorate in the whole book. I liked just leaving that kind of in there, obviously a tuck spot, but you know, just a reminder that these are all envelopes. And another little, just an index card with magazine cutouts, more of the scraps from other pages. This was just really a whole trial to try something new. So it's a pocket, and I painted and used some texture paste and on top of this tissue paper. That's okay. This is another one of these little pockets that I had from some Happy Mail, and then I made this little pocket on front of it with, I thought it was so cute, this little stamp. I stamped it onto some cardstock, and then I folded it to be like a library pocket to go on top of this little library pocket. And this was another stamp, you know, just, I don't know, for no reason, just fun. I have these chipboard things that if I don't use them, I'm gonna have to just, you know, eventually throw them away, donate them something. I just put that in there, and then I did this fabric, some of my scrap fabric bin, and I just ran like a little stitch through it to gather it, ruffle it up, glued it on there. This is a print that I had purchased from Victoria Thatcher when she did the 50, I think it was 53 cents, where she just was painting things using paint from Walmart. And she was such a light in our community, you know. So I just wanted to put that in there. I was just thinking about her. And then this, I just put 2 pieces in there because I liked the lines that it made with this. But just magazine or some mail I got. Looks like a Mary Kay maybe makeup thing. I don't know. But I thought it went well with what I was thinking. This was not jelly print. It was just me painting on it. But I had done a bunch of envelopes at some point and used them for another project, and I had some left over. So that went there. And this was actually pink tissue paper. So I just layered some stuff up, and looks like I kept a pocket there. And then this is a pocket with a little tuck spot, some fabric on there. I had this cute stamp, and I thought, I'm gonna find a way to use it. So I did. Okay, this is another me trying the jelly plate. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I liked it. I think this was before I actually bought a jelly plate. I kind of fashioned my own using cardboard, and I put like a saran wrap on it, and it was okay. You know, it's fine. I liked it. Obviously I still didn't really know what I was doing there, but it's okay. I used some bubble wrap to make these, so I didn't want to cover them. I just want to leave it just like that. This is paper, actually it's on sticker paper, but the design that I made last year during Junk Journal July, and I think the prompt was wallpaper, and so I used this material to make it. And these designs actually were Noritake China pattern, and then I kind of edited it and mirrored it and made it look like wallpaper. And then just an old recipe card, again, came from a thrift store. Whenever I find recipe card boxes with cards and index cards, I like to buy them. Because you know, sometimes they're really cute. Like this was a vintage one. Another card I made. I think I thought I was gonna sew around this, and I just haven't yet because I have to get the sewing machine out, and I mean it's sitting over there, but you know, set it all up. So I like to sew multiple things together. So next time I will try to remember that that's in there. Again, something I cut out of a magazine, but I thought it was so cute, so I just glued it onto some brown paper, made a little tab. But this, you know, is a pocket. And then Here, this was another window off of an envelope, and I cut it to be a belly band. And so there's one pocket here. I just have this index card, and then behind it, it's another spot. And then I just have some of this paper in there for journaling spot. But I thought that was kind of fun. I like to make little hidey spots like that. Do I think I will actually journal it and write in this? I don't think so. I was trying to decide if I, want to give this to someone. I probably not. Probably keep it for myself. Use it as examples. I think about teaching a class here in my community on junk journaling. Maybe at our museum does art classes, and so I've talked to them about that. This again came from a magazine, I think. I cut those words out. Okay, this was a handkerchief that I scanned in, and I had bought it because I had the greens and yellows and oranges, and I thought, oh, it's going to go perfectly with this. So I did turn it into a digital. I actually had a couple of them. I need to finish scanning them in, but I have two now. Again, just scraps that I layered together to be, well, I like the texture. But also I just wanted to use them up, so it became the journaling card. And a pocket I made from the master board, and I added some stickers, and this was in some junk mail. The rest of that envelope that I made, kind of fun. I did faux stitching with an ink pen around that. And then this is, I have a big glossy flower book that I pulled out last year for Junk Journal July. I didn't use a lot of it, so I said I'm gonna use it for this too. So, and then this was, I think, a big envelope. It's like a larger one, so I had a lot of pieces. So this was one of the leftover pieces, and I just made it a tab. And this was, I was practicing learning to watercolor, and I saw a video with Marta from Marimi Small Art, and she was teaching how to do this. So I just tried it, and then I said, oh, it's going to be a journal card. So it went in there, and then I just cut this. It's a large, it's a large book. So I cut the pages down, and then I stitched around them and then glued them down on top of there. So kind of, a pocket, but you can tell it's covering an envelope. So that's the first signature, and this video is going to be really long, but what else am I going to do today? So this is another one of the handkerchiefs I bought. So we have a local thrift store. Besides the thrifts like Goodwill, Salvation Army, we have like an antique thrift store that a friend of mine owns, and so she knows that I'm going to come in there looking for things that I can include in my junk journal. So when I started this, that's where I got this other handkerchiefs. But instead of, I did scan this in, turned it into a digital printable, but then I actually wanted to put this in as like a flip up. And this is French for the creator, like, a creator, a maker of things. And also this, I typed both of these out with my new old-fashioned typewriter that my daughter bought me. Well, that's kind of fun. I want to find ways to type up more things. The rest of that card, so it was, I had 4 on there, so I cut this one up, turned it into another journaling spot. This was a paper bag from a subscription kit, and so it was the Planner Society, and so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna make it a pocket. So I cut it in half, and I actually think I still have the other half somewhere. This, I did make a video about this. These were just scraps from my planner pages when I was printing out inserts, and I cut them off, and then I said, what can I do with them? So I just wove them together, used some distress inks and some watercolor, stitched around it. Yeah, so I was pretty happy about that. I am going to do this style again someday because I really like it. Think it turned out well. And then just some of my coffee dyed paper just to kind of mirror it on the back side. Still have a pocket. When I pulled out this kit over here to look, you know, I said, what can I use? They have these little pockets in here. So, let's see, this is just what I'm using for a little, so you can put something in there. And then these were like sticky notes, so I glued that down inside here, so it'd be kind of a fun little backing. And then there's a place to put probably an index card, I think, in there. Then I just covered this. So this one is one that I covered the window on, but I left the pocket there. And as you can see, what I cut out of there, I used as the tab for there. Waste not, want not. So this one came from, I know exactly what this came from, a kit. Again, it was during 2020 when I made this up here, and it kind of looks like a house. It was a stay-at-home kit. It was a freebie by Shabby Dabby Doodah, and I 100% recommend that you go check out her channel. And she's got so many great things, and she has a shop, and she sells all kinds of digitals. I just recently loaded up my cart and bought a whole bunch of more stuff. And so if you like junk journal kits, if you, you know, digitals that you can use, like I said, I don't always use them, but every now and then I do. So I now get to challenge myself to use all those that I just bought. But this was in that stay-at-home kit that she provided, and so I had pieces still from it, so I put that in there. And this was from as you can still see, there's handwriting on it. A friend of mine gives me her old like birthday, Christmas, whatever, Mother's Day, all the cards. She saves them up and then gives them to me because she's like, you could probably use this in your crafts. So I then go through and cut out, you know, images and things that I would like to use. So this was on one of the cards, and so I thought that fit perfectly as a little journal card there. And then the back side of this, I used some note paper, and then here I cut it down and also made a pocket. So that was kind of fun. Some more of that. So this was me learning to use the jelly plate on these envelopes. Again, I was still trying to use some orange and green colors. So then I just cut it down and I put the main side here. This is the back side cut down. And then another piece I just attached to here to be kind of a thing. And then I decided to put a little tuck spot right there. And I just used some, this is probably packaging. And then I just layered like strips of things, and yeah, kind of cute, fun. Thought it went well with it. Also, these were sitting in like my little scrap bin for quite a while, so I just need to use them. And then this side, clothing tag, but again, recycled. It was recycled clothing material, you know, clothing made with recycled material. And this, a purple, which doesn't go with my theme at all, but it didn't matter because I want to use this card. This was cut out of a magazine, but I thought it went well with it. And this was just some packaging. I used this like Amazon packaging, Sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's this color. So I try to save it, and this was just like what I was, you know, wiping off my paint on. I thought, oh, well, that's kind of, might as well use it. Another window, and this I made, oh, so long ago, and it was just sitting in my box over there needing to be used. So I used this lace to make designs in a jelly print I was testing out, and I thought, oh, it works perfectly on here. So that is where that came from. But again, packaging. Another pocket. All packaging types. This is just glued on. This isn't a tuck spot. This was cut out of a magazine, book page, packaging, and this is a game card, so there's a design on the other side that I've had, again, in some Happy Mail. So I said, I'm going to use it. I just kind of stitched that on there and glued it on. I did make a video about when I made this page on my channel. Again, magazine. This was a receipt. Sometimes I say those, you know, thermal paper receipts because they're thin and the ink fades off of them. And then this was Amazon packaging, actually. I had some of this mesh that I was gonna use for craft, so I have tons of it left over. And yeah, I just layered up the book pages. It's like a post, what are those? These stamps. It's a book about stamp collecting, and so it's got a lot of imagery, so that's kind of fun to use. And again, just layered it with some packaging. And I put it here because I thought it was a good way to, you know, start this envelope flapper. This is a Joey DeFee is where I learned it from. Whether she invented this kind of thing or I don't know, but probably. And this is such cute. This was inside of an envelope. In fact, I got another one in the mail recently and kind of cut some up. I thought it was so cute. So I put that here. That was kind of my inspiration for this spread. And then I said, well, let me find, you know, a page that has some gray inside. So I did not put anything in here because I liked that it mirrored that. This is a clothing tag covered in paper and just more scraps in a cutout from a magazine. An old sticker that has been around for a while. I printed these out years ago, so they're still on the sheet, but the cut lines weren't great on it. So I'm like, they're kind of ruined, but not really. So that went there. This is another pocket back here, and I just layered it with some of that book page packaging. This is a card, someone's business card. So then I just layered it up, because, you know, people give you business cards. Once you put that stuff in the phone, or, you know, you have the digital, you know, their contact information, you don't need the card. So it went in my book. So that was kind of a fun page to do. Some more of that paper from Shabby Dabby Doodah's kit. I had actually made this in 2020, and you know, just playing around with collage and stuff. Still, this is probably when I was first trying to learn how to collage and decoupage. And so it had been with this other one, and so I put that on there, cut it, made I think it's a pocket. Yes, this is a pocket. I don't know that I could put a whole lot in that pocket. But I did another blanket stitching with this material, and this, like, eyelash yarn or whatever, is not so easy to sew with. So I don't know, or maybe it was just because I was sewing through, you know, layers of this paper and then I sewed these two envelopes together to make an extra pocket. So I wouldn't recommend that. I would do this just on like thinner paper. This actually page I cut off of a little notebook that at the post office someone had opened their junk mail and just left these little envelopes. They were from St. Jude's. They just got them in the mail. And so I thought it was so cute. And so I could cut it and it would fit on there perfectly. So you know I was not going to leave envelopes just sitting on the counter at the, you know, post office. And fun little card in there. This is just a little tuck spot I put in there. This is another one of those game cards. And these were just little bits that I had. And I'm like, I need to find a way to use them. So it went perfectly here. I was trying to embrace my yellow envelope. Another one of these little pockets. And, oh, can you see that? This was on a gift that a friend of mine gave me. She knows I love journals, so she gave me a little journal book. And there's a little mermaid on it. And she got it probably in South Carolina, I think. Anyway, I thought it was so cute. I said, I have to keep that. So I just added it to this scrap that was left over from this that I made. I made this little tag. And I thought it was just perfect to fit in there. Another card layered up. I think I still have the pocket back there. Oh yeah, this pocket, I made it like this. I glued this side down. And I put this tag on this side. So cute. Try to really make cute things to sit in these windows. Kind of have it, there you go. This sticker came from some stickers again that I had from a Happy Mail from, oh no, this was not a Happy Mail. This was from my Sticky Club subscription from a couple of years ago. And I just never found a way to use them. So I said, I'm going to use them. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. This reminds me of, you know, Picasso. I don't know why. I don't think this is his style at all, but that was fun, you know, looking up at Create. So I left the rest of this page blank. This was, I made this masterboard using scraps. Like, I had all these pieces of scraps left over from a craft I made for my daughter to take to Miss Kansas Week. And so I just glued them all on there like a, you know, like a puzzle. And then I cut it out and just made little cards out of them. So I have more, the rest of the page in an ephemera, like half-made ephemera bag that I need to finish. So probably be doing that this month during Junk Journal July. This, I was attempting one of these, you know, layered pockets, and I think it turned out okay. This is this was a coffee sleeve that I just, you know, made a fabric tag and I don't know, just played around with it. But this was fun, and I'm trying to think, the first time I saw this kind of pocket, I think, was Crafty Irina. So she's my first junk journal inspiration here on YouTube. So this backside of this envelope, which I still don't even know how I folded that up there like that. Oh, I cut it on one side. This is the one end, and then I folded the other end. So on this side, I stitched some, this is like book. So I got some books that came with this kind of paper covering it, like a book cover. And so the books were to use as junk journal, you know, covers. And I saved that, and then I stitched around it, and then I just glued it. I stitched it onto like a little cardstock, but I left an opening, so as you can see, I left so that I could stick the card in here. But then when I glued it on the back of the envelope, I glued it to leave a pocket there. So another little fun little hidey hole. I do not know why I like making that so much. I just do. Hidden pockets, I guess. Again, I think I saw and learned about that from Crafty Irina. She'd make whole book pages like that and then stick things in between the whole book, you know, every so many pages would have hidden spots like that. So I have a notepad, and at the very bottom, this is on the bottom, like it's lined paper. And so I said, I'm going to cut that off and put that there for fun. And it's a pocket. And so on the other side is the top half of the notepad. So I had to include that. And another, I had 3 of these, and I used them all up in this project because I couldn't figure out how to use them. So I just made it a belly band, just again, piece of copy dyed paper using up. And then I made another little card from this game piece card. Kind of fun. And I feel like we're nearing the end here. Okay, so these were, I think book page, like in pages or something, that I covered these with, just to cover. I didn't put anything else on them. They were just in pages that need to get used. And then I made this cluster from bits. So I had gone through, I had this that I collect full of things while I'm working on a project. I had to empty it out. I had to clean it up. I had to process all the papers and really make some decisions about things I wasn't going to use. And so these were some of the bits in there that I just layered up while I was sitting here. And I told myself I was either going to make clusters out of all the little bits and like ephemera, or it was getting thrown away. And all the big pieces, obviously, I put, you know, I put in their little places, but I threw a lot of bits away, but I didn't care what I made, just I had to make something. And then I made this little scalloped edge from I think there was like a box, like a little cereal bar box or something. That was kind of fun. And this was some book pages, the piano player music sheet, tissue. And I had finished a book of stamps, and this was like the cover, you know, to show you what kind of stamps they were. And I was like, I'm going to use that. And I thought it worked perfectly because the tissue on there said flowers. And a pocket. And we're at the end finally. Can you believe it? So I had so much fun working on this. I feel like I worked on it for a couple of months. I didn't, you know, work on it every day. I would, you know, sometimes just do one page. Sometimes I sit down and maybe make a couple. Sometimes I actually turned the camera on. I've filmed a couple of videos, but other times I just kind of did it for my own, you know, relaxation, because that's what I like doing. But it's done, and that means it is time to start working on my Junk Journal July. So thanks for letting me share this flip through with you. And are you doing Junk Journal July? If you are, leave me a comment below on your channel so I can go follow you. And stay tuned for my Junk Journal July intro. I have no idea what I'm doing. I started collecting some stuff over there, so I'm probably just going to turn the camera on and talk through, you know, talk through whatever it is that I think I'm going to do. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye.